Ciao, everyone. Buona domenica. I hope you're having a great day, no matter what day you're watching. I'm Esther.
Alfred here.
Of You, Me, and Sicily, and welcome to our channel if you're new around here. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back to our chat here from Sicily. So we have lots to talk about, right, Alfred?
Yes, we
the
do.
latest situation here in Sicily, travel in Sicily. We're going to have a little bit about the Roman period here in Sicily. A little bit of amaro, and all types of things, right? But let's start out with some of the fruits and produce that I've been finding. You guys know what this is? Brand new here. Just came out this week. Anyone know? Leave me a comment. Nespole. And what is this? Pesche. The peaches and plums all are coming out now. It's a very exciting time.
If you look at this, it's blemished. Almost 100% of the ones in Sicily are blemished like that. But the more blemished they are, I swear to God,
the more delicious they are, right?
Yep. You know, you could buy these. How do they sell them? They sell them loose like this, or you can literally buy a whole branch full that could be like 2 feet long, just full of these things, one or the other. It depends on where you go.
At a fruit or vegetable place, there's a tree, and you can just go and pick it yourself. They're so delicious. And last week, I told you the gelsies out, the mulberries. I saw some cherries. Very exciting time here, right, Al?
It's a cross between, I swear to God, an orange and a peach. And right in the middle is a ginormous pit like this that if you plant it, it'll grow, believe it or not. So they only come out now. And
won't be around for a long time either.
They won't be around for a long time. The peaches are great right now. They just came out, the little white one, the white peaches. And I had a couple of nectarines yesterday. Mm-hmm. Good stuff, Bunny. Good
stuff. And I can't wait for the cherries. All right. The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is, you guys know this brand? Amarance. It's delicious. Amaro del Etna. It's a bitter from Etna, and this one was made in Santa Venerina, and it got the award, the gold award for liquor and for Amaro, for a bitter at the International Liquor Competition. And in fact, this bottle is from 2019, and it also won it in 2019.
I remember we bought a bottle when we went to the Oktoberfest up in Zefferana della Etna. And I didn't like it. I thought it was
a little bit
just
too
wasn't
bitter.
wasn't my type of wasn't my type of thing. You know, it usually comes from the bark of the special orange tree.
See,
it's really dark in color. Taste it, Esther. See what you think.
It's bitter, but it's delicious. I like it. You know, I like that on top of like ice cream or something like that.
You know what it tastes like a little bit? It's in the whole family of, say, Campari, which I'm drinking a Campari and soda, a Campari on the rocks today. This is actually from Milan. This is like the granddaddy of the bitters, okay? Which is after dinner. I'm just having it on the rocks
with a piece of lemon.
Piece of lemon. Although you can put, a lot of people put club soda in here. Mm-hmm. Or you can make, of course, a Campari spritz, which is this time of the year. This is when I start to have the summer drink. I was going to have a Prosecco today, but I wanted to show you the Campari. The Campari is great. The other third one is called Negroni. That's another.
Oh, yeah, that's very good. Yeah, I think that has the Campari, a little bit of spritz, and also a piece of orange.
It's made from the bark of a very particular orange tree, not just a regular orange tree. So it's very, very good, and it's considered to be a digestive. Okay, usually amaros there are made from herbs.
Yeah, but this one is made out of orange. And the interesting thing, so this one is from Santa Venerina, which is nearest. They have every year a wine festival and also a liquor festival. So
Santa Venerina was a little town not too far away from Zefferana del Etna that had some serious damage afflicted to it when we had the earthquake there about 3 years ago. And I think they've had more than one earthquake over there, actually.
Yeah, they've been really. And we did an episode over there called Etna Foods, where I went into a bakery, the Russo Bakery, as I recall, right in downtown Santa Venerina, on the way to the church. And one of the ladies, one of the sisters, they were making cornetti from scratch. I was making that. But one of the sisters was hand painting marzipan. beautiful,
Yeah.
right?
Nice people too.
Nice people. I'll leave you link to that episode. Really fun. And she was telling me
Do they make
how
cornetto
she makes each one of those marzipans hand painted beautiful, right? And they have different themes, whether we have the fruits, the vegetables. They even had fish marzipan, all types of great marzipan.
Is Jim Ingram in Chicago, Illinois?
All right, so let's talk about the chinotto.
Okay. Chinotto, okay? Those in the States or those have access to a brand called San Pellegrino. They're typically available at your finer Italian specialty shops, okay? We used to sell it at All Things to San, as I recall. We would sell the lemon one, the orange flavor.
Pellegrino,
also,
right?
No, we had Pellegrino, and also we had the Chinotto.
Made by Pellegrino, wasn't it?
Yeah, but this isn't made by Pellegrino. This is
we got
San
Benedetto.
Excuse me, I meant to say San Benedetto, but over here they have zero sugar in it.
Mm-hmm.
And because they have the normal one like you have in the States with sugar, and then they also have one organic.
Yeah.
So Eska, take a swig of that. Tell me.
But wait, and also this is
also made with the bark
Sicilians.
of that special orange tree.
We've got some orange themes going on today.
I know, we do.
Listen to me. Do you know that there are several companies here in Sicily that make their own version?
Yeah.
And they have beautiful bottles. So I'm gonna get one of those and show it to you next time. All right. It's also bitter. It's not my favorite. I have to be honest with you. In the same class as the Amaro.
It's bubbly.
It's bubbly.
Actually, I thought it was pretty good for something that's zero. Over here, very popular is Coca-Cola Zero. A lot of people drink Coca-Cola.
Lots of people drink Coca-Cola Zero.
And it actually tastes pretty good, but I don't drink Coca-Cola. I don't drink any soft drinks practically, but I took a swig of that last night just to see what it tasted like. And I actually bought that because it's kind of unusual. You don't see.
Our friend John Petrosino loves that, and he asked a few weeks ago. Yeah, he asked a few weeks ago, when is the season? Well, it's always in season.
No, that stuff is made all the time. It's made year round. That stuff, really. But I think it was San Pellegrino or San Benedetto. San Benedetto, the one with the pink label. That's pretty big in the United States.
All right. So the other thing we want to talk to you about is the latest update. We finally went to yellow zone
tomorrow.
Jello zone.
It's tomorrow,
Jello,
though, right?
Yeah, but people may be watching this on another day of the week.
Oh yeah,
right?
Good idea. So starting on Monday, it's yellow.
So Monday, Zona Jello. We're so excited. Restaurants can finally open after several months. We've been in orange zone for 2 months, you guys, 2 months. And the other big news is that the restaurants will be able to open for dinner. We haven't been able to go out to dinner since last October. So that's huge. Museums are opening, very exciting. They're shooting for gyms in June 1st. And the Lido's, the bathing facilities opened on the 15th. So exciting times. And of course, you guys must have heard the news now that they're increasing flights to the United States. And if you've had your shot and if you can prove that you're tested negative for COVID or have the antibodies, that no quarantine is necessary. But, piano, piano, as they say, slowly, right?
I think that if you're like me, seasoned, kind of like up there, and you want to travel to Italy on a holiday, and you're not philosophically against getting jabbed, you ought to get jabbed. I'm not going to give comment about whether you should or not, but
it's going to be
what I'm saying?
necessary. But you
ought to get it. We are in the process right now of doing our organizational work for our trips. It looks like, we're trying to get the dates coordinated with our existing clients. That's those who have given us deposits. So wait a second, you guys.
We should tell people, first of all, if you guys don't know this, besides being here on YouTube with you guys and having all the videos from all over Sicily, normally we have tours. We have group tours or private tours. So we had a big year. We were going to have a big year in 2020, but we've had to push all of those to this year. So we're talking to our existing clients now, and then we'll open up to private tours, right, Al?
Yes, but let me get back to what I was saying, okay? B, I know, did I see B Green's name here?
I don't know.
Yeah, I saw B here,
yeah.
Right? B, do us a favor, get a hold of us because we need to nail down your group, and we want to make sure that we satisfy you and Dawn. And because the two existing groups we have, they are our priority. They have been waiting for 2 years to come here. Really, okay? We'll do plenty of private groups. So if you and your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or both for that matter want to come here, yeah, we'll do customized a group for you. But we want to take care of our 40 people so far that have they've been with us since, you know.
And let me tell you, Sicily is ready for you. We are waiting. Again, museums, everything's starting to open up. So we'll keep you guys updated for sure on the situation.
Cautiously, like I said in my update today, I'm cautiously optimistic, and I'm really hoping that this year we can get it done. Okay, I think that's the big thing. Buongiorno, Joe.
Ciao, Joe and Sue.
Yeah.
Let's see. John Bremer just saw the announcement about the flights from U.S. on Delta. Also, other flights. Yep.
Good morning.
I just read that Delta will be operating quarantine-free flights to Rome and Milan from JFK. Yep. And also, Helen, other cities too. I believe they put Boston over there as well. Good morning, Manny. Manny's here. Let's see.
I bought my ticket round trip. I'm leaving the end of July, just so you know for pricing. I had a 660 euro voucher, okay? And the ticket ended up costing me an extra $100 above that, so maybe $800 because I took the what is it called? That's with the economy with the biggest seating for the legs. So I mean, I remember in past years I was paying $1,800 a ticket, okay?
Yeah.
So here it is. I'm paying half price over there. So.
Okay,
that's with Alitalia, by the way. Alitalia.
We've got Peter, Thomas, Joya, B, and Don are here.
Oh, good.
Great.
Good.
Let's see here. I think I saw a new member here. Christine is here.
Christine from Olive Tree Memorial.
Olive Tree Memorial. Why don't you tell people about our
Olive Tree Memorial? Well, for those of you who don't know, we have with Christine Leone at Olive Tree Memorial. We have some beautiful places to plant memorial olive trees for whatever purpose you want, whether it's in memory of somebody or for a job performance or just for yourself. Through Olive Tree Memorial. Are you going to put the link up on that?
Yeah, Christine, why don't you put the link?
Yeah, put the link up. And Christine Leone, who's the proprietor of Olive Tree Memorial, and Esther work together very hard. We have places in Sicily. We also have our first place, I guess, in Tuscany. And they donate a portion of the money that you pay for the tree to our Sicilian project, which trains kids in, Sicily, or we subsidize the poor here in Sicily. Right now, we're not going to get the teaching component up and running until the authorities say, okay, you can do it, because right now that's still very, very iffy.
We've got Pat Greeley here, Lisa King from Florida, Stefania is here. Good morning. What's Mama Cooking is here. Good to see everyone. Sean Lewis, we've got a new member. Thank you so much, Samantha Adamo. Welcome to our member group. And what the member group is, it's a little private group we have here on YouTube where we just post extra little stuff about our life, but really for $1.99 a month, it's just a way to support our work here. But we do try to put a little bit more extra stuff. Did you guys like what I put about our lunch? Alfred had sausage, I had fish, and we did a little bit of video.
I want to give a shout out to our good pal Stefania. She got jabbed yesterday, right?
She got jabbed.
Pfizer. And also our friend Anthony. Anthony got jabbed too. And also my law partner, Massimo. He got jabbed. And me, everybody, we all got jabbed with Pfizer.
Wait, we got to tell the story about you getting. Joe Marinelli says, hello from Joe Michelle in New Jersey. We're already planning a 3-month visit this fall and excitedly waiting to hear your latest update on the reopening.
Yep, it's coming, Joe.
It's coming. Atlantis Graphic and Web Design Ireland. How much do I love saying that? I always drink Campari with fresh orange. Going to have to go and make one now.
Yes, it's a good thing to have on a nice day. Today's a nice day. It's about 68. It's a little bit breezy, but it's still a good day to break out the old Campari. So
Sammy says, salutamu.
Sami. I remember him from the last time. That's a different Sami. Okay.
Sami. All right. So the other, Michelle is here as well. Ciao, Michelle. And
Michelle who?
she's Sicilian. Michelle, I forgot where you are watching from. So leave us a note. Love to see that a lot of other Sicilian.
Michelle, my belle.
Mary Jo, thank you very much for becoming a new member. Mary Jo.
2 members. We'd like to pick up 10 today. So if some of you regulars haven't joined up on our private group, why don't you consider it, okay? Because I have a whole bunch of stuff that we have filmed that she's going to be putting up here and there. Let me tell you something. Some of that stuff is pretty good if you ask me.
Cook, Love, Heal with Rachel Zirzow. I love that. Love that. Thank you for your
Where
wonderful
are you from?
channel.
Where is she from, Rachel?
Oh, she's from Austin, Texas. Here we go.
Austin, Texas.
Travis Harrison is in the house.
Travis, long time. We've been trying to get a hold of Christine, right?
No, we've been talking to her. I've been talking to her.
How
Thank
do I
you
know?
for becoming a member. Jim Ingram is on
what is he doing?
His high school reunion.
Secret trip, Chicago?
Yeah, he has his
reunion,
right, which is very cool. All right, so on that note, why don't we talk a little bit about what we want. Oops, let me hide
Who's
that.
Mary Jo?
Mary Jo.
Nochi.
Wait,
Does
by
nochi,
the way,
what does nochi mean? Does that mean
nut?
Walnut?
Yeah, nut.
Walnut.
Nuts.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Magdalena.
Magdaster. Yes. So if you guys didn't watch our Wednesday chat, we announced that Alfred got his first shot. And I got to tell you guys, it went very smoothly. And even Stefania said there were big crowds, but she went on a Saturday, right? When it was open, voluntary. You didn't have to make an appointment. And she said it was really crowded, but very organized. And that was our experience too.
I had an appointment, and I went prepared like I was going to trial. I had all my medical records with me. I kind of I dazzled them with my footwork, right? So, because even the doctor says, he looked at my stuff, he says, like, basically, hey, you can't get Pfizer. Like
no,
there's nothing wrong
he said to you, why do you have this note from your doctor and then we told him about
I had a doctor's note
and there was
and
no
then
problem.
I just I gave him what they call the coup de grace. You know what I'm saying? And he says, "Oh, okay." So
please stop making everyone out to be so bad. The volunteers were great.
The volunteers were great.
The
doctor was a little bit suspicious of me. How can somebody be suspicious of me?
Hello.
Look at this face. Honest, right? Honest face. Oh my God.
Oh my God is right. Okay.
Anyways, I have to go back. I have to go back on the 16th, 15th of June, which is past the 21 day. What is it for the state?
It is the 21 day. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so right now it's probably 21. I just want to get my Jabarino, and then I want to get my what do you call it? Piece of paperwork in Italian. I'm gonna have to get translated to English, right?
That's probably a good advice to travelers too. When you get your, certificate that you got a vaccination, and if you're coming to Italy, I would highly suggest you get that translated. I haven't heard anything official, but I would highly
get it translated.
Yeah, highly.
The Italians play like Mickey the Dunces collectively. They do that. They don't understand English, and then as soon as you leave, they start speaking in English. All right.
No, they probably have to have it for official reasons. For official reasons.
It's like
before we go on, I want to hear where you guys are watching from. If you've received your vaccination, also let me know.
School reunion, Jimmy.
Now, the other thing, my big project this week is I'm working on a new episode of You, Me, and Sicily. So if you are we're finished here, check out. We have tons of videos, over 80 videos on Sicily from all over, including some cooking, including some festivals. And I'm working on the province of Messina. We have the province of Catania, Syracuse, and the province of Messina. And that's going to be a big one, right? Because you've got Taormina, Giardini Nazzos, Forza d'Agro, Savoca, of course, Milazzo, Joe and Sue. Of course, we're going to have Milazzo. We got Brolo, we got Tinderi, Santo Stefano de Camasso, but I want to keep it in 8 minutes. So
the problem is we could do like a 3-hour, program just on the province of Messina, keeping it with 8 minutes. So I said to Esther, I says, listen, let's not do the same old with Talmina and Giardini Knox's.
We have to mention
Let's focus on but let's focus on some of the other stuff. So she's going to attempt to squash it down into a 8-minute piece that I'm sure will be great, very visual, because we've got some unbelievable B-roll we haven't
That's
shown.
right. Maria's family is from the province of Messina. I forgot the name of it. I think it begins with E. Maria, what was the name of that town? Beautiful town on the hills off somewhere in Messina.
You went there.
I went with her.
And you don't remember
it was like 2 years ago. Alfred, I treated myself yesterday to 2 Gorin brother hats. They've been in Brooklyn since 1895. Expensive, but worth it. Nice.
When I go home, I told you I might have to get myself a Stetson hat. I want a Stetson hat, and I'm probably going to get another summer hat over here. I did a count of my hats. I have 30 hats over here, but a lot of them are caps, baseball caps, and she doesn't like it when I wear a regular baseball cap.
Why?
Right? Because she's. What do you mean? Why?
I never say anything. Italia Superiore in the hills.
City? Oh, okay. That's
I got to tell you, when we went there, Italia Superiore, I could immediately sense some kind of a change. I mean, not a lot of cars up there, the fresh air, the people very simple, very quiet. It was such a great visit. Loved it.
Could I make a couple of errata announcements right now before we get started?
Let's do the
Let me just make one, and then I'll do one. Okay, I'm not doing anything.
Do you guys know what errata is, by the way?
Errata is to clarify any misconceptions that I misgive.
Fish.
No, that's orata. This is ERRATA. It's Latin. But sometimes when I talk, I give the wrong impression to people. One guy, we were talking last week about Muslims coming to Sicily. Okay, the guy wrote me this long thing. It was basically a story that long, being very careful to identify every single country and where they came from. Well, I'm pretty much on a program like this, I'm pretty much of a generalist. I kind of point you in the right direction, and I always counsel you, go research it.
Yeah.
But for purposes of my discussion and that discussion, we have Islam, that's the religion, and then we have the adherents of Islam, Muslims, okay, which can come from any place. So when I say North Africa, Muslims came to Sicily from North Africa. For example, that could take into consideration Tunisia, it could take consideration Libya, and it could also take into consideration a little bit to the east, Egypt, but it's north. And I was very clear last week.
Everyone is right to have their opinion. So, but anyway, let's move on. All right.
All right. But I wanted to clean that. I just felt bad. I didn't sleep for 2 nights.
All right. True? So listen. So each week we come to you, sort of talking about a topic that has to do with Sicily, and to give you something to go research. So this week we're going to talk a little bit about the Roman era, but specifically you wanted to talk about 2 people, Alfred. All
right. Remember my grandmother said that, try to learn 5 things a day. All right. So for you folks that are, maybe you could pick up a couple of ones over here in this little titty that I'm going to talk to you about. You can go to Google or any place. But everybody knows Rome. Everybody knows about Caesar, Mark Antony, and all those guys. Octavius, who, by the way, was a real dick, He was a dick. But anyways, do you know who Sextus was? And do you know who... I can't even think of the guy's name. Now I forgot who it was.
Octavius?
Lepidus of the third member of the triumvirate, the second triumphal, Lepidus. And you have Sextus Pompey. Okay, those are the 2 people I want to focus in on. First of all, Sextus Pompey was the son of Pompey. Okay, who was killed, of course. All right, he was killed by. Right in cold blood as he fled to Egypt, as you remember. Okay, this opened the gates for the second triumvirate. With Mark Antony and all these other guys. After Caesar had died, there was the Civil War, the battle with the first battle, etc. But to make a long story short, he the son of Pompey, made a deal with Mark Antony, and he was appointed politically as governor of Sicily. Okay, and he was a real tough young kid. He was an excellent general. Well, what he did was, after he got to be the governor of Sicily, he built a fantastic navy in Sicily, made up of Spaniards, because his father had been very, very powerful in Spain, and also Sicilian merchant people. And they began to put a barricade against Rome, okay? Cut off the wheat supply, because as you know, Rome was the
breadbasket.
Dependent on Sicily, right?
Breadbasket of the Roman.
So by this
Empire.
time, this guy Octavius, who I said was a real dick, he gets together all his Roman ships and so forth, and he attacks Sicily. And this guy Sextus beats his butt, sinks all of Rome's ships. It was unbelievable. So Augustus goes back and he kind of licks his wounds. He gets another bunch of ships together, except he gets this guy by the name of Agrippa, who, by the way, was also the guy that refurbished the Pantheon in Rome. But anyways, Agrippa came down, and they had another ginormous battle, okay? And that second battle he won. It was right off the coast of Messina, by the way. Now, why do I call this guy Augustus a dink? Because he had no freaking guts. That's why. He had landed in Sicily with 2 legions. That's it, okay? And as soon as he heard that they may be losing, he got on a boat and he got the heck out of Sicily. Meanwhile, Lepidus, he was the 3rd member of the triumvirate, had been given North Africa to be a governor, okay? He brought in 14 legions from Tunisia, where Carthage was, Libya, etc. And they did a pincer movement from the north and south, and that's why Augustus ended up being victorious, and that's why Pompey Sextus ended up losing, okay? So Pompey Sextus ended up taking off. He went to Turkey. He was caught and he was killed. When was
this? What period?
This was between, he died in 35 BC. So this was 35 BC, 36 BC, etc. Right after Sicily. But Lepidus.
Sicily became province 227.
Yeah, but this
came after.
This has got nothing to do with becoming a province. This has to do with the Romans and the Romans and we're talking about Mark Antony, Octavian, Agrippa, Sextus, and this guy Lepidus ended up being the Pontifex Maximus, the head religious leader of Rome till almost the day he died, for another 22 years. It's a fascinating period of time.
Well, let me add
Sicily's
a little
right
bit.
smack dab in the middle.
Well, let me add a little bit, but first, and what is your name? M. Zenith Thurman. I believe you're the one that made all those great comments on our YouTube channel. Very insightful, and I really appreciate that. Okay, let me see here. A couple of other ones. Someone said they're my husband and family in Licodia, Iubea, and I have family in Montreal and Palermo that I would love to see. I have never met my family over there. We're going to be working on those episodes in just a little bit. But first,
we love Montreal. It's beautiful.
I love it there.
Are you kidding me?
Have you guys taken the ferry to Tunisia? Still lots of Sicilians there, I think, and a lot of people from Tunisia here in Sicily too. But I want to go back a little bit.
Historic relationship between Tunisia and historic going back 2,000 years.
At least.
Okay.
But I want to go back to talk a little bit more about the Roman era here in Sicily, because the Romans did leave a lot here. You know, they did have a lot of villas here. You have in Piazza Marina, you have the Casala, beautiful remains that you can go and visit. The mosaics are fantastic, out of this world. But, you know, the Romans were here, but the Greeks that were here before, you know, this was the language here in Sicily. It was Greek. And when the Romans came for a long, long time, they continued speaking Greek. So that's very important. And then from the Latin language, Sicilian became the first language to emerge from Latin. And then years later, it evolved with the French influence, the German influence, and a lot of Arabic influence into the Sicilian language. But the other thing about the Romans here is that, yes, they built a lot of amphitheaters, And the saying is that the Greeks built the initial base, right? The one in Taormina, the one in Syracuse, and the Romans perfected it. No, the one in Catania was built by Roman. Yeah. So it's really interesting, they came here and the Greeks had the base, the structure here, but the Romans perfected it. And let's not forget what the Roman period brought for us in modern civilization, right? We have the calendar came from the Roman times, law, democracy, architecture, art, so much that we received from the Roman. What am I missing out here? Some of the biggest contributions.
Well, they deforested Sicily.
Right.
I don't have that. I don't think that was a particularly prosperous time for Sicilians here under the
What do you
Roman
mean?
rule.
It was a big time of peace. There was a long period of peace.
But meanwhile,
here in
the Sicilians
Sicily.
didn't prosper only because they were so busy growing wheat to ship up to Rome to feed the people, who were, by the way, giving wheat for free. I mean, basically, and over here they were starving. And there was a lot of, Rome. I love Rome. I love Roman history. I've studied it forever.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the characters. I've been to Rome a bazillion times. But as far as their relationship with Sicily, I mean, Cicero loved it here. A lot of the great other politicians and poets loved it here. But in the final analysis, guys like Octavius, Caesar Augustus,
the emperor,
they were, narcissistic. They didn't care about the people, and it showed that they didn't care about the people. And it was, I don't think the leadership, Tiberius was okay, the second one, but then he had other guys like Nero.
Well, they're politicians.
Yeah. Marcus Aurelius is my favorite
politicians.
One.
By the way, here's a little tidbit that during the Roman Empire, St. Paul came through Sicily. He stopped in Syracuse on his way to Rome. How's that for a little bit?
From Palestine?
Yeah.
From Palestine,
St. Paul stopped in Syracuse and said Mass, actually. Romans were pretty much responsible.
That's a very interesting little tidbit. I'm going to put that on my one.
Your list. One?
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay. Romans were pretty much responsible for the deforestation.
Yeah, that's Jimmy. That's
interesting history. Yeah, but because they wanted to plant grains, right?
You see what Jimmy says, but not my favorite.
In Sicily, exactly.
Occupy. Now, how many occupies have there been? I lost count.
It was
17 and 19.
It was 17 major ones, but then you have the little ones over here.
The ones that only came for like 50 years, I guess.
200, Okay. Good morning. Okay, let me see here. My family is from Veneto, Rometta, and Spadafora.
Wow. What's
What's Mama cooking? Great. Okay, this is important. Many people don't know this about Islam, but they also honor the Blessed Virgin. Always good to look for things in common. I love your little tidbits. I love your little tidbits.
Studying for a long time Islam, okay? Because I know many Muslims who are far holier, so to speak, than a lot of Christians I know, okay? So I decided I'm going to get to learn as much as I possibly can, and I really enjoyed it. And it goes back to Abraham, where Abraham's two sons, Ishmael and Isaac, okay? Well, according to Islamic history, Ishmael was the guy that ended up creating Arabic thought, and Isaac ended up creating Jewish thought. I mean, it goes right back to the prophet Abraham, and there are 5 major prophets and 20 minor prophets, including Jesus, by the way, who are considered to be prophets in the Holy Quran. Okay, the problem with all religions is not the belief system. Okay, whether it's who you believe in. The problem is once a human being
I agree 100%.
Get involved.
I agree 100%.
And all of a sudden
it's the interpretation.
Politics and power and money. Look at the guy that commissioned the Sistine Chapel, Julius. I think his name was Julius II. I'm doing this from memory. The guy used to get laid, relayed, and parlayed. He had kids out of marriage. Look at the guy from the Borghese Garden, Cardinal Borghese. How do you think he got all his paintings and stuff? That was all done through fraud and everything else. They did power like this. That's how they did it.
All right, Samantha, I found
Jimmy
the history.
Ingram, you know that.
I find the history of Sicily absolutely amazing and fascinating. Can't wait till our international borders open mid next year and we can start planning. Where are you watching from, Samantha? Let me know. And also, Samantha, if you go on our channel, you can find a lot of videos on the history of Sicily, including the first settlers, which we did a few years ago. That is a really informative one. All right, so I'm hoping to take my dad at least one more trip back to his hometown, Caltanissetta. He's 87.
God bless him. I took my mother, Michelle, when she was 80 years old for her 80th birthday. Myself and my daughter, Jennifer, took her here. And it was, as she said to me, even on her deathbed, it was the highlight of her life coming back over here.
Yeah, John Brenner, lots of Roman shipwrecks left over from the two Punic. Also in Syracuse and Ortigia, they were still doing some excavations. So the Punic Wars were right here.
Well, no. The Punic Wars really, wait a minute.
Some of the Punic Wars were carried out right outside the waters of Syracuse. Whoops.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
Not the Punic Wars. The Punic Wars were fought against Carthage.
Sweetie pie, but they were, some of them, the
sea battles?
Sea battles were.
Ooh, I'm not sure about that.
Remember, we went to that museum in Syracuse where they had all the shipwrecks.
That was the Athenians when the Greeks attacked the Syracusans, Gellian and all those guys, and they imprisoned the beautiful Greek boys in the prisons, as I remember.
Christine
doesn't make any difference.
We have a grove in Montreal that we work with.
That's
yes,
right.
We do. All right. So,
Chicha, when are you coming here? We're still waiting for you to come here. We have a lot of things to show
Samantha,
you.
Australia. Okay. Michelle. Yep. Let's see here. Caltanissetta was an Arab village. There were a lot of Arab villages. Also, Mazzara del Vallo. There were a lot of Arabs over there.
Stop.
What?
Mazzara del Vallo. Okay.
Wait, why are you interrupting me?
I said stop because we're talking about Arab villages. That is the sine qua non of Arab places in Sicily. Mazzara del Vallo. If you're coming to Sicily,
they landed there first and then made their.
You have to go there and check it out. It's unbelievable.
Cool. You know what? Next week I want to talk a little bit about one of my favorite Sicilian rulers. One of them, either Roger II or Frederick II. I'm going to think about which one I want to talk about.
Well, Rogers came first and Frederick
If you guys are enjoying this little history bit, let us know. Leave us a comment on what areas you'd want to know.
We'll talk about anything that you want if you just let us know. I figured that I wanted to teach. Not teach. I wanted to point out 5 different things for you to learn a week. I think the more you learn about Sicily before you get here.
Agree.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is an odd day. I'm agreeing with more things that I'm disagreeing. This is a very odd.
Ask her what she's going to make this week. Ask her what she's going to learn to make this week.
Safety Harbor, Florida. No vaccination. Off to Marostica. 9:14 for performance. Then on to Sicily. Thank
She's not going to get a vaccination.
And most grateful for your informative pleasure.
That's up to you. That's your decision. Everybody makes it. We're all adults.
Alexander VI granted his daughter an annulment to do her husband's ability to consummate her marriage. She was 6 months pregnant, and it is said the laughter in the Latin place was so loud.
Hey, listen, I know a guy that's been married for 27 years, a famous guy who invented Microsoft. His wife's going to try to get a 27-year marriage annulled.
So in any case, let's move on.
That's all I want to tell you, Jimmy.
So listen, this
27 years.
If you guys have been coming back here and you've heard me say that I've been trying to learn a lot of Sicilian recipes, especially in 2020.
And she's done a great job, by the way.
And then, so the bacala, I did the caponata, I did the scacciata. What else did I make?
Spinach pie.
Well, that's the
pizza.
Scacciata, the pizza. Oh, I did an entire episode on pizza. So
Yeah,
check
your
that out.
sauce.
So now I'm taking it upon myself to learn how to make nero di seppia.
Pasta.
And I have a great recipe because, of course, it's one of Alfred's favorites. I think the last time you had it was the last time the restaurants were open, right? About 2 or 3 months ago.
Yes, I did. That's
so
right. No,
do
I
you
had
guys
it
know?
done. Didn't I have it
That
down
was-
in Nespolo?
yeah.
Nespolo?
When we were in Yellow Zone. That
Yeah.
was over 2 months ago. Do you guys know what nero di seppia is? Leave me a comment. It's made with cuttlefish and the ink from the squid. So it's a very dramatic looking.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the same taste that my mom used to make, which was an ancient way.
But we're not going to give it out here yet.
No.
Okay.
So I don't want any newfangled stuff. I don't want any,
Helen says,
yuppie stuff.
Helen says, love the history lessons. It's important to know where you've been and appreciate what came before. I agree 100%. And, I studied in grad school. I studied history for that precise reason. And I feel like as a lover of history, I can continue to learn. I learn new things from this guy or from Google every day.
It just makes your experience here.
Exactly.
Listen, this is, folks, you don't understand. This is a living museum.
An outdoor
living outdoor museum. Why come all the way here if you see a bunch of rocks and say, is that all there is? Is that all there is? Because the history behind those rocks or, the buildings that you see, it's not 250 years old, like in Boston, the Paul Revere House. People say, oh, look at that building, 250 years old. Here you point to a building and you say, 2,500 years old.
Yeah.
Millennia, by millennia here.
Travis says, I enjoy the history and lessons, but I'm more interested in the food and beverages. Were you here for this?
Travis, when you're with me, brother, I'm telling you right now, we're going to food and beverage our asses.
Travis and Christine, I want to know what recipes you'd want to see. Did you guys see my pizza episode, by the way? Cook Love Heal with Rachel. Love that name of the channel.
Cook Love Heal.
Rachel Zirzow.
I want to meet this woman.
I was talking with a friend yesterday who visited Taormina and Messina years ago. It looks so interesting with Greek amphitheater overlooking Ionian Sea and Isola Bella. Yes, we've been here, and Cook Love Heal with Rachel Zirzow. I love saying that channel. If you look at our channel playlist called Explore Sicily, I have at least 2 or 3 videos on Taormina alone, walking tour of Taormina, also a comprehensive history of Taormina. It is fabulous there. And the amphitheater there is nothing like it.
The Pearl of Europe.
Can you imagine the ingenuity that it took to build that amphitheater with Mount Etna and the Ionian Sea? You're sitting there, you're watching this great performance, and there's Mama Etna, and there's the Ionian Sea. The acoustics are incredible there. I've been there many times. Okay.
You're right.
Anthony Marino, I plan on going back to homeland Palermo, Sicily within 2 years. You guys are great. Related to Marino, Calabrese, etc.
Is Jimmy still online?
Probably.
I have something for you, Jim. Excuse me for 1 second. I have to get something.
What do you need to get?
Mr. Marino, I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, I just finished watching The Godfather in Savica. It's such a quaint little town.
It is.
Do the same owners still own it? Yes, the Bar Vitelli. In fact, I'm going to include Savica in the next episode from the province of Messina. And the other location for The Godfather was Forza di Agro. Many people don't know also that there was a scene filmed in Giardini Naxos down below Taormina. So those towns are so cute and quaint, must visit, but not because of The Godfather. And I say this all the time. We don't take people to Savica and to Forza di Agro because of the Godfather movie. We take people there because it warrants a visit aside from being a Godfather magnet. Now, a Godfather site and a Godfather magnet. I can't stand those Godfather tour buses where everyone just gets on the bus to go to Godfather sites, including Corleone. So the other thing about Savoca is that it is a city of art. Since The Godfather was filmed, it's tried to reinvent itself, have some other merits, and it has some beautiful art along the way to along the churches, along those streets, great shops there, great granita. Remember, we had that granita up there across from Bar Vitelli when it was really, really hot in July.
Bam Bam Bar?
No, that we're talking Savoca. I can't remember the name of the town.
Oh, the little place right across the way.
Right
nice,
across.
She's a nice girl. The girl,
yeah,
she's a good, nice little girl. And then the guy that sells the olive bread over
and
there.
you know, both of these places, Savoca and Forza de Agro, the vistas, the panoramas from up there are just spectacular. So that's what I have to say about that.
Okay.
Let me just do a couple more hellos. Michelle, ciao, Michelle. If your family comes from Sicily, take some time to research your family and their hometowns before you. Bravo, exactly
I agree,
right.
10,000% on
and
that.
Viv says, Sicily is so much more than The Godfather. Exactly.
Is that
I
Vivian?
agree. Viv's in the house.
Look at that hot picture of
Me
Vivian
too,
today.
Travis.
Wow.
The Godfather merchandising offends me, and I'm not even
it offends
Sicilian.
everybody.
I agree with you 100%.
Especially in Taormina and Palermo and Sheffield.
There's just some stores, and I just, shake my head. Hello, how's Augusta Bay and Catania been? I used to go to Augusta by ship all the time, heading to the Persian Gulf or just working in the Med. We actually, Augusta Bay, we were there a few years ago because we did a video episode on Mare Nostrum. Mare Nostrum used to be the operation, the Italian operation with regards to migrants, rescuing migrants or dealing with the migrant situation here. And the headquarters, the military headquarters, the Navy headquarters is in Augusta Bay. And of course, we did an entire episode on that. And that subject is still pretty relevant because we continue to have
what was the admiral's name? Do you remember? We interviewed
we interviewed the admiral, but let me talk just for 2 more seconds that every summer and already started this May, ships come over, they overturn, the Navy has to rescue them, they come onto the shores of Sicily, and then someone has to take care of them, and someone has to house them, and someone has to process them. And their goal is not to come to Sicily. They didn't land here on Sicily because this was their end place. They want to go up north. They want to go where there's jobs, Germany, France, but they end up landing here. It's still a huge issue. Musumeci the other day did a whole press conference, the president of the region, Nello Musumeci, talking about this. Look at this, we're in May and we're already having significant numbers.
That's because 2,000 came in 1 week.
Yeah, that was crazy. Okay, Tim is here. I hate that they romanticize The Godfather.
I've written about that, Tim.
Yeah.
Believe me, you're preaching to the choir here.
Really not a whole fan of the Godfather scene, but the scenes in Sicily amaze me. Reminds me of the
Sicily, as I said, it's an open book living museum. Could I talk now? Right?
Yeah.
All right. This little segment here that's going to be 3 minutes long is dedicated to my pal Jim Ingram, who's in Chicago today at his high school reunion, the class of 1878. I can't believe the guy is still. Anyways, he loves art. So I want to show you folks a picture that is made by what is considered to be the most famous early Renaissance painter and a Sicilian from Messina. His name is Antonello D Messina, or Anthony of Messina. And his famous picture, this is what I went to get, of the Annunciation. Essie, can you hold this up for 1 second? This picture, by the way, has been... Okay, you have it? Thanks. The detail that D Messina did on this picture basically lit. No, keep it there. I have to point to it. I got to point to it.
No, they saw it. Hold it. Just go ahead. There's a little bit of reflection, so go ahead.
Give me my picture. Come on, put it up. I have to point.
Wait,
thank you.
Wait, before you point, do you guys see the reflection? That's our other side.
That's okay.
They can hear everything.
It's okay. Don't do it again.
Do you see that? Hold it.
You see the
that
lines over
reflection?
here?
It's
The
hard to
detail
see.
to lines, the precision.
It's hard
During
to
the
see.
early Renaissance, that wasn't around. And look at her face for 1 second. Okay, this is the Annunciation. Light and dark on her face. That was new technique. The most important thing that he was the first painter in Italy to actually use oils ester.
This is probably one of the most famous Sicilian
This
paintings.
is, and okay, now you can take it down. I actually saw this piece.
Microphone's right here, honey.
Okay, I actually saw this piece. It's no more than 8 inches square. It's on wood. I saw it in town.
Where's the original?
The original's in Palermo. He had gone to Venice, and he had gone to Naples, and he met some Flemish painters there, and they kind of traded ideas. Okay, D Messina gave out the idea to them for precision and accuracy. I mean, color schemes, and they gave out the idea of precision, okay, especially around the fingers, folds and clothes and stuff like that.
It's very special looking. Her face is very.
I love that piece.
Beautiful,
I love that piece.
beautiful.
I was kind of disappointed when it was only that big. Now, Jimmy, I saw that piece in person, and I saw the second most famous painting, modern painting, by Renato Guttuso at the Chigi.
At the
Palazzo
palace,
Chigi
at the palace in Rome. We went in there. It was spectacular.
Il Vucaraia, right?
Yeah.
Right?
That's the market in Palermo.
So those would be number 1 and 2. And then from number 3 to 25 are so many other Renaissance painters and sculptors, Jim, that it's a real study.
Not just Jim. Talk to everyone.
Well, I mean, Jimmy asked me about it because he's an art lover. Jimmy is really an art lover. So, I mean, that's another thing that when you have some time, look up Sicilian artists, Sicilian sculptors. It'll open up a whole new world for you. So when you go to the museums here, okay, you'll get blown away.
Or if you see some merchandise, for example, with her on it, you'll understand that it is a valuable piece.
Yes,
I have Sicilian heritage on my father's side, although I do not know that side of my family. His surname is Curao. Have you heard that name in Sicily?
Of course.
I'm moving to Florence in October. Bravo, Paul.
Mr. Correo is the Signor Correo is the fellow in Boston at the Consulato's office that gives out citizenships. So
Pat Gilfano said, I saw it too in Palermo, never forgot it.
It's beautiful.
It is a
small but beautiful, though.
Yeah,
huh?
It is a stunning painting. He was
the first one to paint on oil. That's what I said, Antonio. You're correct.
Sean says, be nice, Alfred. They could hear you say, don't ever do that to me again.
Why did you just rip it out of my hands like that? That's like demonstrative educational things, and you just ripped it out of my hands.
It was on there long enough. Okay.
Yeah.
John Bremer says Stanley Tucci visited Lampedusa on his CNN episode on Sicily and talked about the migration with the fisherman's family. Yeah.
I don't know if that was appropriate. Okay. Myself.
George wants to know, are Chinese buying up the island?
No.
No, not that we know of.
No, they're buying up the businesses, but not the island.
Okay. Tim also says, I hate to romanticize The Godfather. Okay.
That's a hot topic subject. I have some friends in Massachusetts because I publicly speak against that issue. I think it set back, frankly, Sicilian Americans by about 2 generations, okay? Because somebody from Duluth, Minnesota thinks that, Zappola, Sicilian, lawyer, you must be in the mafia, okay?
Yeah.
That's what you hear. Now, other people, however, there's a whole subset of Sicilians who feel that it's an art film, and they like it for the art, okay?
Well, artistically, there are some beautiful Sicilian scenes.
Here's what I know. A lot of Sicilian surnamed actors are wealthy today, fantastically wealthy today, by the negative and stereotypical characterizations of Sicilian Americans, where less than 1% of Sicilians, less than 1%, were in organized crime.
Yeah.
Less and more Sicilians died
Fighting the Mafia. By the way, next week, May 23rd.
No one ever talks about that.
Next week, May 23rd, is the anniversary of the assassination of the great mafia fighter Giovanni Falcone, who was murdered by the mafia in 1992. We'll talk about that next week. But Kira is here. Thank you for doing a piece on my grandfather's hometown. Massachusetts was such a pleasure. What a beautiful, beautiful town. Now, Sean Lewis, did you know, hello, Caretto Siciliano, we have a whole episode on the history of that. We went to, we went and visited a Sicilian cart museum in Taormina, which actually is housed in Tre Castagni. It's actually one of the stops on our tours. And we talked about the history and the difference between carts made on the west and carts made on the east. The color schemes are different. The shapes that they use are different. Some of the themes are very different. So make sure you check that out.
I hope that Sean Lewis comes here one day. He can make even a much more valuable. He's making a valuable contribution on Facebook and social media, talking about Sicily all the time.
Yeah,
Sean. But if you're here,
his Facebook
it'll
page
be like you on steroids.
Mia Familia. I believe it's Mia Familia, right?
You need to come here if you possibly could, and we'll personally show you.
Part Sicilian.
It's Lady Gaga, Frank Sinatra. There's a million people.
Lots of people.
Do I say it? Fauci. His mother was saying.
Samantha says, my father was born in Naples, my nonna in Salerno, and nonno in Palermo. Can I become dual citizenship? And is it difficult process? Samantha, this is your guy. Yep. Alfred and his law partner in Catania do these types of cases.
First of all, it's a lengthy process. Okay, you're not going to get it in 2 weeks. Expect to spend 2 or 3 years. And expect to spend maybe $1,000 just in administrative costs between gathering documents, having them translated, and filing fees. Then if you have a problem, you have to hire a lawyer. So it's a frustrating process. My advice to you, again, is to learn as much about the process as you possibly can ab initio, from the beginning. You can go to the Italian Ministry of the Interior, okay? And you click the icon that says dual citizenship. It's in English for you, and learn what you have to do. There's a ton of stuff that you have to do. I mean, stop and think about it. If you're a foreigner coming into the United States, there's a ton of stuff that they have to do as well. So they're just trying to make sure that people are going to come here and become wards of the state, because this country is broke. This country doesn't have money, and this country can't afford to, support
Jim
people.
says she is very Arabic looking too. Yeah, I just looked again.
Who is?
I believe he was talking about her. A little bit of Arabic. Yeah, you probably a little bit.
Well, don't forget, he was from Messina, okay? And he ended up, if you look at D Messina's work, okay, he's got a lot of breathtakingly beautiful portraits like that. Not only her, but other portraits. And he also has like Saint Sebastian, okay? He's got some religious stuff that is just knock you out. So enjoy him and realize that the guy's from Messina, and he's Sicilian, and he was the first guy to use oil, and that he influenced a lot of the Renaissance painters in Italy. Okay?
Jimmy Pick says Leonardo DiCaprio is doing a movie about legendary NYPD. Joseph Petrosino, that should be good. Yeah, that's another story.
Joseph Petrosino was
a police officer,
right? The Palermo police officer who came to the United States, who was murdered by the American mob while he's doing his investigation.
Great discussion in history. I understand Cefalu was originally Kefa by the Carthaginians. Kefa was also the Greek name given to him. Okay. Hey, Dusty is here. Buona domenica, Dusty.
Ciao, Dusty.
Beautiful art.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. It is beautiful art.
Yes. Mia Familia posted your wonderful Caretto show. Love that. Awesome.
Sean, I want you to come here.
Lecare Freddi, province of Palermo, my nonno's hometown, just celebrated Frank Sinatra. And you know who else, speaking of Dusty being here from the Sola della Femmina? Joe DiMaggio, right? Talk about so many people, famous Sicilians.
There's been so many famous American Sicilians that have how about Scalisi? Former CJ, I mean,
Scalia.
Scalia, excuse me, Supreme Court. How about the guy that was in charge of the Afghan war? What was his name? Pache. His name was Joseph Pache. Now you have, well, she's part Sicilian, and I won't even talk about her, the Speaker of the House.
Sal Latona says, ciao from Sal and Kathy Latona in Arizona. We are looking forward to visiting in September. Finally moving there in the spring. Early retirement, have tons of family. Hey, where's your family from?
Sal, good for you. Contact us when you get here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're thinking also September, reassuming some of our tours. Okay, Mama Sicily says, I will be looking up those paintings. Absolutely beautiful.
Please, okay? I mean,
look it up. We're just, you know, a little bit of
there are art
info.
books that you could purchase too. When you come in here in some of the shops and galleries, they have these beautiful books of, you know, each one of the different articles. It is much more than just eating a cannoli. It's much more than eating a pizza. You have to live, breathe, experience Sicily, okay?
Yeah.
With every one of your pores, because a lot of you people this is a once in a lifetime trip. And you want to go home where you can close your eyes on your deck a year later and get transported back here and to relive some of the wonderful experiences that are here. Now, Esther, I can't get her to leave. She loves it. She came here for 7 weeks. How many years ago?
7.
7 years ago. What am I here to do?
All right. On that note, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending this time here with us. If you haven't subscribed yet, by the way, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you're notified when we go live or when we post the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, everyone. We'll be back on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Sicily time.
Thank you very much.
Arrivederci.
God bless each and every one of you.
Ciao.